Mike, how you going, mate?
Greetings, Lewis. I'm well, thank you, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very well. I'm very happy you've turned up, bro.
Yes, I'm very happy I turned up too.
Oh, you're
Yes,
funny.
indeed.
You're funny. So, how have you been, Mike?
I have been well. I have been well. The family is well. We had a bit of an interruption a couple of days ago with a bit of a fender bender, but all is well. That's what insurance is for, is taking care of that. So overall, I'm doing
Mm.
good.
That's no good, man. That's no cool at all. So, wow.
Yep.
But yeah, no, that's very cool. So, Mike, we were going to catch up to today. I think you wanted to just discuss the casual and the other stuff. We didn't do the VIP. Have we done that already?
No, we haven't. What we did was the last meeting we had was the post, creating post,
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes.
um and such. That was the last meeting we had. But
Beautiful.
I don't think we did anything beyond that.
Okay.
I think the
So
interview
what?
process that was gonna happen, or
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So just quickly check your mic. Um, just give me 1 second. I'm just going to do this quickly.
no problem.
Okay. Beautiful. Mm, Okay. So Mike, tell me. Um, I want to introduce you properly. I want to introduce you properly, okay? So
Yes.
what are some of the things that we'd want to, tell people about when introducing you for the interview?
Okay. Oh,
You're a
so
dad,
as far as
you're a preacher, tell me those things.
okay, yes. So I'm a father. I'm a
Yeah.
husband, a man of faith. I am I consider myself to be an EQ specialist or an EQ architect. EQ being emotional intelligence, where I
Yeah.
am a position to work with and serve leaders of families and leaders in the business world. Yes,
Right. Beautiful. Um,
I love to travel. Love to travel with my family. Some of my hobbies are playing music and enjoying music, and
so what music do you play?
I'm rather eclectic. I play the bass guitar. But I do enjoy playing anything from jazz to cultural music such as salsa or compa music from the West Indies or Haiti, reggae. I'm rather eclectic across the board.
Beautiful. Okay. I love it. I love it, Mike.
Yes.
Okay, and what would you like to talk about? What component would you like me to emphasize when we're having a chat?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely about automating a system um, for the business, which would include working with VAs to help
Yep.
leverage my timing and automation and focus on uh, helping with chat sequencing and at least Richmond Den's process system of chat sequencing,
Okay.
friend
Yep.
farming.
But for now, this interview initially, this is just going to be, I'm basically going to interview you. I want to find out tell me about your business, tell me who you
Oh, yes.
help, tell me
Okay.
who your ideal person is. So what does that look like? Who would you like me to be What angle would you like me to be focusing? Because I know that you've got many different strengths.
Yes, 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 yes. So, working with parents, high performing parents, particularly mothers, but it is also open to fathers as well, and helping them to move from chaos to calm, from
Okay.
overwhelm into opulence through the language, through communication, establishing effective communication and taking the child-centered approach and raising their children, promoting life, love, and legacy within the
Okay.
dynamic.
Beautiful. Okay.
And that also bleeds into conflict resolution because I have a pathways approach in my practice that also involves NLP as well.
Okay.
So what can be true to the parent can also be cross-referenced to the day-to-day leader or developing leader in business
Okay.
dynamics.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, let's do this quickly. Let's do the just give me 1 second. Um, let's see if I've got. um, just make okay, just give me 1 second. Okay, give me 1 second.
No
Okay.
problem at all. No problem at all. Take your time.
Hey, Chappie. I'm going to be interviewing Coach Mike. He's a dad, a husband, a man of faith, and he calls himself an EQ architect. And basically, he serves leaders, whether it be a leader of a family or a leader of business. He loves playing music, bass guitar, jazz, salsa, reggae, that type of thing. And he works with high performing parents, mothers and fathers, and he helps them through better communication by promoting life, love, and legacy. Could you give me, I'm going to be interviewing him now about what he does. Could you give me a really cool opening couple of sentences that I could use for the interview, please?
Absolutely. Here's a little opener you can use to kick things off. Welcome, everyone. Today I have the pleasure of introducing Coach Mike, a man who calls himself an EQ architect. A husband, a music lover who grooves on everything from jazz to reggae, and most importantly, he's someone who helps leaders, whether they're leading a family or a business, communicate with heart. We're going to dive into how he promotes life, love, and legacy through emotional intelligence. Let's get started. Feel free to tweak it to match your style.
How does that sound, Mike? Does it sound okay?
That sounds great.
Beautiful. Okay. All right. Are you ready? Oh,
Absolutely. Let's do this. Whenever you're ready, I'm here to help you type right in.
sorry, Mike. Sorry. Okay. Are you ready, Mike?
Yes, I am.
GPT's ready. Are you ready? I love
Yes.
it. I love it. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to check that I've got the recording on. Okay. We've got the recording on. I'll just check that this recording's on. Okay. We good?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. Today, I've got the pleasure of introducing you to Coach Mike. He's a man who calls himself an EQ architect. He's a dad, a husband, a music lover, grooves everything from jazz to reggae. But most importantly, he's somebody who helps leaders. He helps leaders, whether they are leading a family or a business, to communicate with heart. And we're going to dive into how he promotes life, love, and legacy through emotional intelligence. So, welcome, Mike.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
So, Mike, tell me a little bit about what it is that EQ architect means, because it sounds like such a cool term.
Yes, absolutely. Well, EQ architect is EQ stands for emotional quotient, or another way of putting it is emotional intelligence. And
Mm,
the architect speaks of, I view myself as an architect because I help to establish, to teach, to educate on the efficiency of good communication, communicating with clarity,
mm, yeah.
within our messaging, and communicate to understand. And not only for the sake of understanding, but utilizing that understanding to build a foundation of efficiency between one party to another party, or one party to multiple individuals, whether that be in a family dynamic or a professional setting.
Wow. Okay. And where did that come from? What made you decide that you wanted to become an EQ architect?
Okay, well, maybe great question, great question. What made me decide that I wanted to become an EQ architect is when I came to realize how important um, emotional intelligence, the role of emotional intelligence takes in communicating effectively. Obviously,
Mm,
communication is our primary source of connection. So
yeah.
for me, I learned growing up through the trenches. I've received the positive and negative end of non-effective communication. So in my life
Okay. Okay.
experiences through music and acting and all of that stuff, I found that there was a need for ourselves to take advantage of being able to communicate effectively for a greater life altogether.
Okay. So when did you realize that it was more than just like a nice to have skill? When did you realize that this was something you really needed to put into the world? What was that kind of turning point? Was there a turning point?
Yes, yes, yes. For me, I realized it. It's all the more especially when in my marriage. I've been married for 13 years now. But
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. But even prior to that, working in the field of mental health addictions, corrections, and working with families across the board, I realized how a lot of things, how impactful communication could be, and how it could literally direct or redirect the trajectory of someone's livelihood, and the
Wow.
heavy influences that it takes as early as childhood. So.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Okay. So here's a quick question. Like, is leading a family harder than leading a business, do you think?
Oh, that's a great, great, great question. Is leading the family harder than leading the business? I believe it can be
Mm,
very much so, because, but honestly, I view family as our first response to business. I believe family can be run like a business, and it is a business in and of itself.
mm,
And if we do come to understand that and appreciate that, a lot of the business is based on the plan, the structure of the CEO or the leader or leadership within the business. And I think that is the role of the parents or parent. That's the role that they play within their family dynamic. So can it be
mm.
as challenging or even more challenging than running a business? Yes, but I think altogether, I think in a lot of ways, family is kind of like the first business that we're already involved in. So those
I love
challenges
it.
could run seamlessly across the board together.
I love it. I love it. So, sometimes from the outside, we look in and we see a high performing parent and we go, oh, these people have got everything together. Okay. Why do you think that they struggle emotionally more than we would expect that they are struggling?
That's a great question. I believe that's the case because high performers are just that, performers. And when
Mm,
we get stuck, when we get stuck in the performance track, the performance is mainly about the image, right? The efficiency as well.
yeah.
But I think I've witnessed many high performers within the family dynamic get stuck in that trap of being showing the best of themselves for everyone else while abandoning or neglecting or rejecting by default themselves. And I find that the struggle is that they do tend to lose their identity and
Yeah.
who they are, and that kind of bleeds back to the home base as well because when they're coming home, they're exhausted, overwhelmed, they need space, and then that kind of creates a disconnection in and of itself. So
Wow. Okay. Okay. And where do you think most leaders, whether it's leading in a family or a business, where do you think they get communication? Where do you think they really get communication wrong?
most leaders, okay, where do I think they get communication wrong? That's a great question. I feel like they get communication. They don't understand how malleable communication can be. In the business sense, there could be a form of based on my leadership, my level of authority. There's a way that I am able to efficiently communicate with whether my peers, my colleagues, or my employees, or people who might be subservient in the position. And
Yeah, yeah.
just because that's effective in that realm doesn't mean that it will cross over into a more personal realm like the family dynamic. So there's
Awesome.
flexibility in communication that can cause one to be more efficient, and that flexibility kind of gets compromised in that realm.
Wow. Incredible. So adapting your communication styles if you're at work as opposed to if you're communicating with your family. That's really cool. That's
Absolutely.
a really cool. That's a really cool thing. So, Mike, I know that you're a religious man. How would you say your faith shapes the way that you coach parents and leaders?
Very, very, very good question. Very good question. It's because, and thank you for sharing that. Contrary to popular belief, not to get lost in the mud of things, um, um, but I consider myself now to be, yes, it might seem religious. I consider myself more to be relationally involved, and
Hmm.
how that blend. But to understand the crux of the question, I think it blends in the family dynamic or even in the business world because I do lead. I have a North Star, which helps to
Hmm.
promote my ability and how I promote relationship and who I am as a
Okay.
relational man. And there are certain valuable values and principles that I would hope that I'm able to distribute and to show in the way that I live my life, the way that
Hmm.
I meet with people and communicate with people, and the way that I what I desire to give people and to receive from people, things like love, gentleness, kindness, authority,
Yeah.
grace, understanding, knowledge, wisdom. I think because of my spiritual understanding, because of my faith based approach, there are principles that are within the concepts of relationship, faith, or religion
Mhm.
that allows me to be very effective and efficient and to be real and to be real as well and
Yep.
to be
Okay.
authentic, not inauthentic, but to be authentic, which would allow the
Mm.
person to be able to communicate in a deeper level and a more trusting level with myself as well. So I'm not sure if that answers
Love
the
it.
question. I hope it does.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, you talk about helping people with life, love, and legacy. What is that legacy? What does that look like to you? And, what would it look like in a family, for example?
That's great. That's great. There's a phenomenal book that's filled with such great principles, such great principles in prosperity and purpose and abundance. And it says a good man or a good father leaves an inheritance for his children's children. And I think legacy reflects on the ability to build and develop character.
Hmm.
And I think it also creates a space for me to live not just for myself, but to be such a foundation that my sons and daughters can stand on my shoulders so that they don't have to necessarily start from where I started, but they can pick up
Yeah.
from what I'm leaving off for them. And when I say leaving off for them, it's not separated, but they are standing on my shoulder and they're actually growing and developing with me. So I'm teaching the wins and the losses for their game, so they can start at a better position, at a stronger position. We call it in the creating generational wealth or breaking generational cycles that was
Okay.
unhealthy to the family dynamic and building new cycles for generational wealth, health, understanding, and so on and so forth. So when I say legacy, I speak towards the future of myself, of my children, and my grandkids. Or same thing in the
Yeah.
business world. You want to continue, you want
Wow.
the
Okay.
company to outgrow you.
Yeah. So tell me, what's one moment that you, as a dad, completely changed the way that you lead?
Oh, great question. One moment that completely, as a father, changed the way that I lead. As a father, the idea that I have younger sets of younger versions of me that are looking up to me
Okay.
has
Okay.
placed a new sense of purpose and responsibility on my shoulders. That's a blessing first, but it does also weigh as a burden
Wow. Okay.
for me because they're watching me, they're paying attention to me,
Yeah.
and they're emulating the things that I am doing. And if I want the best for them, that means they have to see the best in me. So it's really helped me to consider how I now move within my time, my
Hmm.
decision making, um, how I distribute what I choose to invest in,
Yeah.
what I choose to allow into my mind space, into my
Mhm.
spirit
Mhm.
space, because now my growth and my development is for them.
Yeah.
And it's placed a certain challenge for me in a good way to be developed. So what I consider a high achievement for me could be the new standard for them.
I love it. I love it. All right. So I know that music plays a big role in your life. Okay. If family communication was a band, right? What
Yes.
instrument do you think is usually missing?
Wow, great question. Well, I would, because of the nature of my work, I would ask a question to answer that question. If the family dynamic you said was a band,
If the family communication was a band, what instrument would usually be missing?
if the family communication was a band, what instrument usually would be missing? How I would answer that is I think if it was a band works most efficiently when they work in concert together, and
Mhm.
the instruments depending on the family dynamic, the instruments, there are situations where the instrument that's missing is the microphone because the music is too loud, so no one's
Okay.
being heard.
Okay. Okay.
And but another way that I could view that is not so much that an instrument is not so much that an instrument is missing, but rather there's one instrument or instruments are overpowering the others,
Okay.
and
Okay.
what's supposed to
Okay.
be music sounds like a mess.
Mm. I love it. I love it. I thought you were going to say something like the drums, because the drums, like, they kind of keep the beat for everything. Everything. I don't really know too much about music, but that was kind of my
Good though.
impression when I first looked at that question. I was like, and I thought the drums, because the drums can speed up, and everybody kind of speeds up to keep up with them, or slow down, and everybody sort of slows down. But yeah, that's really really cool. So
It's
yeah, well,
great though.
what's one of the mistakes that you see from like well-intentioned parents, but it's kind of one of those that they repeat over and over again?
Okay, yes. One of the mistakes. That's funny. I just had a conversation with my father yesterday, and we were having just very good, honest conversation and banter and all of that stuff. I'm in the age where I can banter with my dad now. Um, I think one of the things that parents miss is the fact that I think parents forget that they too were once children,
Mm.
and they try to just, um, in fairness, they want to see the best for their kids, but there's a misunderstanding of seek first to understand and to be understood. So they try to control, 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 and they miss the
Beautiful.
opportunity to relate and to share their experiences and to allow their child to see them. I wasn't always the superhero. I was once in your position as well. And this is how I've dealt with it, and
Yeah.
this is what I've learned from it. So there's that connecting factor, the opportunity to be present,
Yeah. Yeah.
but present.
Love
So I
it.
think that's often and easily overlooked because of the way people approach life.
I love it. I love it. So, nowadays we see parents and they really go out of their way to avoid those hard conversations with their kids, you know. And what do you feel the cost is emotionally when parents are avoiding those hard conversations with their children?
Oh, that's a great question. The cost can be detrimental. Parents go out of their way because of fear, and anything that is led by fear of a result may cause people to hide or try to run away from. And if the parents are running away from these hard conversations, the reality is it's going to happen anyways. It's inevitable. And if it doesn't happen by way of the parents, it's going to happen by way of the public or by way of exposure. Parents
Wow,
may
powerful.
feel afraid to speak about it, but if they don't overcome that fear, what the realization has to be that it's going to happen anyway, and it's better that it comes from that source than outside because the
Yeah,
conversation will happen on whether we like it or not, and that
yeah,
can be
yeah.
detrimental depending on the source that the children are getting it from.
Love it. Love it. Okay, so finally, a couple of tips, if that's okay. What's one communication shift that parents could make this week, right now, that would change everything in their relationship with their children?
It's great. That's great. One communication shift is watching how they communicate themselves.
Powerful.
Where are they communicating
Very
from?
well.
Yeah, and
I
being
love it.
mindful of where they're communicating from and why they're communicating from that space. Take time, take a breath, and choose to actually
Yeah.
communicate with their child. And a form of
Wow.
listening could also promote communication as well too, because we don't always have to be saying. Sometimes we just need to hold space
Wow. I love that. I love that quote. Hey, seek first to understand, to be understood.
and to be understood.
Powerful.
Yes.
Powerful, powerful. Okay. And how can leaders model emotional safety? Because I mean, we want to be emotionally, we want to be gentle, but how can we be emotionally safe with people without being too soft?
Oh, yes. Great, great, great question. I've been blessed to have opportunities to run workshops um, in different businesses or meetings or seminars. And one of the biggest things is to praise publicly and to privately. In the business setting, if when we praise publicly, it obviously it encourages the employee, and it encourages the people, and they feel that praise is being recognized or is being seen by the majority, and they feel lifted.
Mm.
Whether it's one person or it's a corporate setting, it lifts up the morale,
Yeah.
it lifts up the environment. But when
Mm,
there
mm.
is a stern or a fixing, I think if that's done in a more private setting, it's honoring towards the employee. It shows a certain level of respect, and it also builds room for a personal. It allows for vulnerability, but it builds a personal connection within the employer and employee because it shows that
Yeah.
I am vouching for you and I want you to win, and I'm doing this privately, and you will distribute that publicly because now I took your emotions into consideration. So praise
Yeah.
publicly, correct privately.
Wow. Powerful. Powerful. So at the moment, who are you feeling called to serve, most right now?
At the moment, at the moment, I'm feeling called to serve leaders. But to niche it down really, I'm feeling called to serve families, um, families, parents
Yeah,
specifically, because that's where it starts, right? That's where it begins. That's where we get fueled, and
absolutely.
that I believe businesses grow out of families, enterprises grow out of the family
Yeah.
dynamic, and I think families are one of the biggest things, at least especially here in the States. There's such a strong attack on families, and I think
Oh, terrible.
I think there's a bigger reason why um,
Mm.
the attack is in the division of the family dynamic. Conspiracist, but I do have flailings of
No,
So I do believe that
agree
it is
with
a
you.
very, very strong dynamic that could be efficient for the world.
Agree with you. It's that conquer and divide, eh? Yeah. Oh, divide and conquer.
Absolutely. Absolutely,
Divide
brother.
and conquer. If you can break up the family unit, you can control everybody. So, yeah, you know,
You said it
I know.
best.
So if people remember one thing from this conversation today, what would you hope that that one would be?
Oh, okay. If there was to remember one thing, um, whew, great question. Yeah, I would say that it is there's a family that we're born into, and there's a
Mm,
family that we get to choose to be a part of.
yeah.
Um, the one denominator in those two situations is ourselves. And if there's one thing that I would love for people to pull from this conversation is to be the best brother, sister, father, mother, friend, in whatever dynamic
Mm,
and under the guise of family, be the best and most efficient type of family member that you would desire that you could desire to be to someone else, whether
mm.
that's biological or whether that's physical, spiritual, platonic. And take time to really be mindful in how we are and how we communicate, and allow time to develop so that we could I don't know, so that we could literally be the best to serve our families in the best regard. And I
Okay.
think that's where the first business begins. So
Awesome. Awesome. Look, this has been really, really cool. Thank you so much, Mike. Really appreciate your time. So if people want to reach out to you, obviously there'll be some details there'll be some, you know, your contact details below in the comments, but what's the best way for people to reach out to you? And do you have some sort of program? Do you have some sort of thing that they could just reach out and get? Could they work with you for free? How does that work?
that's a great question. Yes, if anyone wanted to reach out to me, they could certainly find me in my email, which is mindful mindful mandate at coachmike.org. They can find me in that's my email. They could also reach out to me via social media on my Facebook at Mike Dulcio or Coach Mike Dulcio. Dulcio spelled Dulcio. They could DM me a message and I could lead them towards a personal call to my business line as well. I do have a free ebook that is
Okay,
being released soon. And the name,
beautiful.
and I also have a book on Amazon, but they are able to reach out to me personally. They will be able to find a free book from me, which is called Raising Strong Families.
Yeah,
That can be found on Amazon by Coach Mike D. And I have another book that's also coming out that's called Awkward is Amazing. And that's for families that are dealing with preteens and teens going through the puberty process.
love it, love it.
As well.
Okay,
So I do have
okay,
some ebooks that will be available to anybody who's looking up.
beautiful. And what if somebody wants to work with you, Mike? Is there like do you have anything where they
Yes,
could just try working with you and see if they like it? How would that work?
absolutely, absolutely. If any person would like to work with me, I do offer a tiny challenge inspired by Richmond Den, where they will be able to have 3 to 5 days complimentary for free working with me. And we will
Wow.
be able to commit 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes at most, daily or weekly, for up to 5 sessions. If they wanted any answers
Wow. Wow.
for anything, I'm offering that service to them. And I also have
Wow, that's
a
incredible.
coaching program that helps to lead from chaos to calm within the family dynamic.
That's incredible. That's incredible, Mike. So if somebody wants to, they can reach out to you and they can actually, work with you for free for a couple of days and just see how you can help them before they decide if they'd like to do more with you.
Absolutely.
Doesn't get better than that, eh? Doesn't get better than that. I mean, really, it's a super try before you buy. Love it, love it.
Absolutely.
So Mike, thank you so much. And to everybody listening, if today's conversation hit home for you, like as a parent or a partner or a business, leader, Coach Mike is someone you definitely want in your corner. Follow him, reach out, start building the kind of legacy your kids will feel, not just remember. So thank you so much, Mike. Really appreciate you. All your details will be in the comments below, and love to have you on again.
Lewis, thank you very, very much, brother. It's indeed a pleasure working with you, sitting down and having this conversation with you. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Thanks, Mike. Thank you.